So I'm Lloyd Connor and
I'm Keith.
Key Lee, and our project is identifying top skills from technology job boards.
Hold on a minute. We lost the camera. Let me get you back on.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
How would you ever prove it was that specific hack that lost your data? It's like something else. I can't prove it was that.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless the hacker comes forth and says, oh yeah, I stole it in this instance. And that's the only way you can go.
It's used after the
So yeah, our
fact.
project is
I'll-
identifying top skills from technology job boards. And
I'm glad you got something out of
we
it.
started, we'll discuss first off our problem and why it's important. So with the broad range of skills in today's technology environment and the large amount of listings that they're all on publicly indexed job boards, it really shows an issue in trying to decide what skills should be prioritized. And along with this, demand skills are constantly changing in this environment. So our main problems are employers struggle to prioritize what the most relevant skills are for job descriptions, and also job seekers want to know what the most valuable skills are to acquire. So in our solution, we can help with that by determining the skills that are currently in demand for job seekers, as well as helping employers prioritize the skills they need for their future employees. So the objective for our project was to build in a tool to extract job descriptions from these public job boards and extract the skills and maturity for development of employers and employees. So the architecture of our program, it begins with scraping data from the web. And the tools we use for that is Selenium and Beautiful Soup, which are web interface tools that Selenium will go in and you can program it to extract from the HTML and parse the elements within it to get the job descriptions from the web page. We then pass those job descriptions to Pandas data frame, which will aggregate our job titles along with the job descriptions. After that, we can pass our job descriptions into our API, and in this case, we use a open source tool called Skillner, which we'll talk about next. And it identifies both hard and soft skills from the job descriptions so that we can further analyze and parse. And the final step is to visualize and analyze our set of skills along with each job description. And the tools we use for that are Matplotlib and Seaborn. So we'll talk about.
I'll talk about Skillner. So Skillner is a natural language processing API that's used specifically for extracting skills from text that comes from job postings or resumes. As you can see here, there's a text that you would see in a typical job description. It separates the hard skills and the soft skills for you. And so how our project works in a nutshell is we use Selenium WebDriver to, this is a job listing website called DroneUp, which is an American tech company. So Selenium goes through each of the job listings from top to bottom and it collects the description from the job and uses Skillner to extract it, and then goes back and does it for every single job until it reaches the end of the listing. And once we have all the job titles and the skills for that job title, we then put it in a data frame, which we can go through and count all these skills so we can visualize the top skills that is coming from the job listing. So in this case, we can see the top skills for the DroneUp company, UAS, customer service, and computer science, etc.
And so the next steps for this project, our current solution is a script is implemented into a Jupyter notebook that goes through the whole process itself and can be used on public job boards or personal small business job boards or anything along those lines. So the next steps of our project, what we'd like to see is extracting from publicly indexed job boards such as dice.com, which is a technology-based job board only. And we could implement a daily extractor that would extract technology jobs descriptions on a daily basis and pass it to our an API that we build that is hosted on a server that would collect those skills, aggregate them, and then finally a custom dashboard of our output so that we can keep up with top skills from a live feed standpoint and see at any point in time what the top skills in today's technology are. And so that is our project. Do you have any questions?
Excellent. Thank you very much. What questions we have for Blake and Keith?
I think one of the things that would probably be really useful, especially within the context of higher education, is would there be a filter available that you could put into this that would allow you to filter on experience level so that somebody could go in and click on entry-level positions? And this would be useful for, juniors and seniors looking for a job, but to click on entry level and then see what the current list is. Is that something you think you can include?
Yes, absolutely. I think that the final product would be on the dashboard. There would be several filtering options that we would like to see. One including, the maturity level of the job, as well as we would like to be able to filter based on the company, so that if a employer wanted to see the skills that are listed on their job descriptions within a publicly indexed job board, they could filter based on that, and several other things as well that we could, if they wanted to filter by a certain skill, we would like to have that inverse where you could search the jobs that are looking for a specific skill as well as the other way around.
So we have a couple questions from our virtual remote audience. Noah really likes the project, very concise and useful, especially since most resumes are run through an algorithm checker for keywords. Do you have any plans to move beyond technology and do jobs in other areas, other disciplines?
Sure. So especially with using the open source tool Skillner, it is really flexible in the skills that it recognizes. So I think it could certainly be used across other applications besides technology.
Cool. And one last question from Amanda, since we're again short on time. Instead of using a period scraper, are you using a tool to automatically implement your event-driven architecture? Like, for example, a new job shows up and your web scraper automatically goes out to get that job.
Yeah, that would probably be a better solution instead of a daily operation. We could implement event-driven to where every single job that posts on a certain board, we could go ahead and feed that using just Kafka or some data streaming platform. That's a wonderful idea.
So using,
All Go ahead.
can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So using your Selenium for your periodic web scraper, so you say every 24 hours, is there a duplication of all of your data elements? Or does it see, in other words, that job will be there for a month, day after day after day? Do you get duplicate records? And does that affect your endpoint processing?
Right. So we would want to implement to where we didn't extract duplicate values. We'd have to implement that in our algorithm to where if the listing was already posted into our data set, that we wouldn't extract that and we only retrieve new values. And so does that answer your question, or is that?
Yeah. So, and then performance wise, you said you filtering an individual could filter based on a certain arena, a custom dashboard in the custom dashboard. Wouldn't you want to do that filtering at the data level instead of the reporting level?
It would be great to keep yeah, the processing close to the data. So if we got that far into the process, we would certainly implement a database this application that could produce the filtering from the query level before it was returned to the dashboard.
Okay, so somewhere between the API endpoint and the custom dashboard.
Sure.
Okay, all right.
All right, Blake and Keith, thank you very much.